Okay, giving this a shot. Let's see how this works here shortly. It should show me live here in just a minute. I'm verifying on my YouTube app over here. Okay, so I think we're live. Let's give this a shot. All right, here we are. We are definitely live. All right, guys. Pretty cool. So this is going to be essentially my first live stream. Don't know how to pull the comments up. So I don't know how I'm going to take comments at this point. Let's take a look here. Maybe if I open another version. All right, so we're here on Opera. Opera's lagging, no problem. All right, guys, so this is essentially my first live stream, like sitting down with the setup. Welcome to the channel. So it's Bilo, right? I'm Bilo. I've been here for quite some time now. Used to be different content on the channel, but it's been guitars for the last couple years. Anyways, I'm trying to figure out how to get the comment section going here for my channelage. But until then, I'll just talk. So as you may know, if you've watched my stuff for some time now, about midpoint last year, I picked up a Helix, Helix LT. This thing, right? Pretty awesome. Got it from Sweetwater, as the thing says. And I loved it. I love it. I do love it. But I like many other Helix users, is very underwhelmed with like the amp sims. You know, the amp sims could definitely be a lot better, right? Definitely not a fan of the amp sims, just being honest. Not trying to be a jerk. And so that led me on the tone quest, as we're all on, to get a Kemper. And so as you can see here, I got a little Kemper going on, a little Kemperage, and big time fan of this. I mean, like this is like nothing else out there, honestly, right? Like the Kemper is like the king of it all, right? There's nothing like a Kemper. And so with that being said, I got a lot of different you know, like presets or whatever, tone things, right? I picked up some tone things from I'm just testing my audio right here on my iPad. Cool. So yeah, I got a lot of tone presets from like people like Tone Junkies TV, like the best presets in the world, honestly, in my opinion. And then I've gotten some off the Kemper Exchange, and then I picked up some from Michael Britt, and then the Amp Factory TAF, right? So like here are some of all the ones I've picked up recently. And in this video, I'm hanging out with the Match 3015 KOT distortion. That's a Tone Junkie from their recent, you know, like offering, which is this right here. This is all of them. Really awesome presets. So let's have a listen, right? Let's listen to this. Pretty awesome sound, man. It's totally righteous, dude. Like, holy cow, you know what I'm saying? Like, absolutely over the top in terms of just like the quality. And like just getting tones like that out of the Helix was impossible, right? And so, you know, in the next couple of days to a week or two, I want to definitely do like a I want to do like a Helix with Kemper, right? So not Helix versus Kemper. There's too much of that out there, right? And I, like many other guys, are like, why am I only picking one? You know, why is it either or? Why is it Helix or? You know, like I'm down with both, and I have both, and so I'm definitely down with both. With that being said, I want to structure a video where I have like the Helix with a send and a block to the Kemper, and then from the Kemper back in, so that'll be like its own effects loop, right? So it'll go Helix pre-effects, Helix amp, Kemper amp, and then Helix post-effects. And then maybe I can mess around with like IRs, because I definitely want to see how, you know, like I have my favorite IRs from the Helix, and I have my favorite amp models profiles from the Kemper. And so I'm like, I definitely want to look into doing that, and I'll probably be like the next video next weekend if I have more time. This weekend I'm completely out of time. I literally only have like 45 minutes to get on here and just kind of hang out. So, you know, with all the talking aside, I wanted to say I'm totally new to Kemper, right? And I was able to get a USB to MIDI, and so you put the MIDI in to the Kemper out, and the MIDI out to the Kemper in. I know it's kind of counterintuitive. You run that to the USB on your computer, and then you launch this Toaster app. So this is Toaster 1.0.100, and this is like alpha. And you know, like you can't necessarily like turn on the delays and the reverbs, but you could turn on the groupings of effects, right? So that's just bass tone. So I mean, it's kind of a bummer. Great tone, better than anything out of Helix for sure, man. Even that delay sounds great. I'm just completely happy with that, right? So so it's like you got two groupings here for people who are not Helix users, like line 6. I mean, not Kemper users, people who are Helix users like I was. You got like two groupings. You got your post effects and after effects. And with the main stomp thing using this Toaster app, I'm able to like halfway control some things, right? So this is a parts Telecaster, essentially. I got this body from GFS. It's a pink paisley Telecaster body, really amazing. And then the neck, of course, is just like a straight up Squire neck, right? A neck that you would pick up pretty much anywhere on like eBay's, right? Specifically where I got this neck. I got this neck off of eBay. So I'm really happy with this neck in general. Messing around with my Focusrite control here. All right, so I just want to do some jam track. You know me on my channel. I always deal with these elevated jam tracks, right? And so this is like a soulful bluesy groove. I have a bunch of jam tracks that I really have been loving lately. The elevated guys have it going on, man, and like. Just jamming to music, real music like this, in the context of having like a Helix or a Kemper or some type of like native situation, you know, walking away from amplifiers and just walking straight into the digital world, and then being able to play along with music has really just made me so much better of a guitarist. I mean, I was really crappy, and I still am. I'm not saying I'm a great guitarist, but you know, like just my confidence and my ability to express musical thoughts and like sentences and stuff like that is really just, you know, I can't say enough about this whole world of digital audio amping, right? All right, I just wanted to get some vaping. I'm vaping. Oh, what am I vaping? Something really awesome. So here we go. All right, let's get some more audio. All right, cool. So. Again, elevated jam tracks, soulful bluesy groove, guitar backing track, jam in A minor. So let's go back to the Toaster. I will say the hardest part is like mixing the audios together. So. love how my guitar profile doesn't go away. So yeah, that's the little Tone Junkies Match 3015 KOT distortion amp profile, and I think it sounds really, really amazing. Incidentally, in the middle, like right at the very beginning of recording that, my little Logitech camera just took a nosedive, and then my lens with the wide angle popped off it, and I mean, like just in the middle of the performance, I just had to pick up the mic, pick up the camera, and put it back onto where it's at. And so goes performance, right? Like you get on stage and you're rocking out, and then something blows up, something happens, and like it really takes like you know, a professional mindset. And I'm not saying by any means that I'm a professional or anything like that, but I'm just saying like when that kind of thing happens, you kind of just have to keep going, and then like, you know, grab it, fix it, you know, turn it down, you know, who knows, right? Like your microphone starts booming in a real stage environment, you know. It's just just things that you have to mitigate as it happens. So that was pretty fun. Yeah. And so like I've had this Kemper since Thursday, I think is when I got it. So literally like just a couple of days, you know, I've had this thing like 4 or 5 days now, and I'm just so completely blown away, and I'm still learning it. You know, one of the things right off the bat that I learned real quickly was that you have to, for my ears at least, I had to turn off this thing called the, what is it? It's in the cabinet section, is it? This thing, no, maybe it's in the amplifier. Well, this interface thing, you know, and that's another thing about Kemper, right? Kemper does not have a straight up editor, right? Like computer editor that you can use while you're playing. And so I'm using this thing called Toaster, which someone made, you know, like some good Samaritan went out there and made this and ported it over with MIDI capability using the MIDI aspect of the Kemper to create at least something to mess around with, turn pedals on and off, that kind of thing. And I can go back and forth between rigs, which is completely awesome, right? So, you know, kudos to the guy who made this, you know, good job. And like the last update, I think, was in 2016, so it's already a 2-year-old endeavor. I'm hoping here, like this week, as NAMM launches, right? NAMM, I believe, starts tomorrow, right? That Kemper will make an announcement. And so, you know, one of the things, you know, dropping the $1,500 I spent on this Kemper, because I got a great deal from Sweetwater, by the way. You know, dropping the $1,500 on his Kemper, I was really gambling. Like, well, what's going to happen? Like, is Kemper going to make a new Kemper, right? Kemper 2 or something like that for 2018, and who knows? I mean, I was just not happy with the amp sims coming out of Line 6 Helix, and I've had my Line 6 for a while. I'm a big fan of it, and like I said, I plan on integrating my Kemper into my Helix rig somehow, and you know, trying to make something that doesn't suck out of it, right? And the reason why is because there isn't an editor for the Kemper, and really all I need the Kemper to do is make amp sim for me, right? Then I can use my Helix and its editor, right? And then the amp sim is essentially just an effects loop amp for the Kemper itself. So I'll go like I said, Helix, you know, like compressor, some gain stages, right? Some pedals, and then a loop, which is the send out into the Kemper and back from the Kemper, and then like go to the next line on Helix, and then have like, you know, delays, reverbs, maybe even, you know, who knows, right? Maybe I can use the IR, like I was saying, and then, you know, be able to control all that with my mouse while I'm live streaming. Because right now there's certain things I want to mess with the Kemper right now, but I can't because A, it's over here, it's over there, and B, this makeshift editor that someone made does not have like all the complete 100% functionality, which, you know, it is what it is, right? You know, and like I said, I'm not complaining, I'm not mad or anything like that. It would just be nice to have a little bit better setup here for the Kemper. So, and I believe Kemper came out in like 2011. So I mean, this is already like 6 or 7, you know, 7-year-old technology. And to be perfectly honest, you know, like I have amps, and I've sold a lot of amps, and before I even got on YouTube with guitar, I had had a lot of amps, solid state and tube, you know. I've used different types of amp sims, you know, crappy pod stuff, you know, XT, everybody, you know, everything that everybody used, right? And nothing does it like the Kemper, in all honesty. And I'm not being paid, you know, I didn't get, you know, some kind of special deal to get on here and push anything. No, I bought this myself, you know, using whatever funds I had, and then I had to recoup those funds by selling analog gear, pedals and amps, to, you know, recoup that on my Sweetwater card, the $1,500, you know, investment. And I have to say, right, like this toaster, I got the non-powered version. This is just a straight up toaster running into my Focusrite 18i8, into the computer, you know, wireless headphones, microphone, you know, like this whole rig I have here. I don't know how polished the results would have been had I just used a straight up tube amp setup, because it's just so finicky, you know. And overall, just using this Kemper has completely just changed and changed my perception of what a good sound sounds like. And the thing I had with Helix, right, is is all of the amp sims started to sound the same, right? So yeah, like they started to sound the same bad, right? Like, and I absolutely hate on I need to tune my guitar. I absolutely hate the stock cabs or whatever in the Helix. I just I can't do it, man. I absolutely cannot do it. So I had to, you know, spend a lot of money on IRs, which really wasn't a big deal when you figure over time you buy all the IRs anyways, right? You know, I think I probably spent a couple $100s on IRs for my Helix, and I will most likely use those in my Kemper Helix conglomeration soon. But you know, I can't be too mad at Helix for that, because in reality, so I live in an apartment, right? And so it's not like I can just crank up this Vox. I cannot do that because I live in an apartment, and I can't crank up these tube amps. So I guess you can't see it in this because well, there's a Vox right here. I had a Fender that I sold and some other amps. You know, I just can't crank those up in an apartment and get like that golden tone, right? So for me, what I did, you know, when I moved to Houston in 2014, was in like a closet. Like I have a closet right here. I had a 4x12, a Marshall 4x12 loaded with different speakers. So I had a Cannabis Rex, I had a Greenback, I had a Celestion V30, and I had multiple microphones on a board, and it was all, you know, like mixed and dialed in. And what I'm getting at is no matter what amp you put into a cabinet like that, right, you always kind of get a similar tone. And so with Helix, I was getting that because I was using the same IR with every single patch, which was my Rosen Digital Audio EVH 5150 IR. And by doing that, I was able to get a relatively homogeneous tone no matter what amp preset I used, right? And you know, what I'm saying is that's kind of true to reality, right? Like I experienced that, right? So like with my Vox and with my Fender and my PV 5150, all of them going through to my 4x12, which was in the closet, running through microphones to a board, through software back into my ears, like a studio setup, right? Like mic'd cab in a studio environment. I would get that same type of situation. But the thing about the Kemper is you get a lot of different sounds. So, you know, forgive me here, we're gonna mess around with this, right? So I don't know how homogeneous my rigs are, so let's just go for it, right? Let's switch over to browser mode. Yeah, I really would like to see a better version of the toaster for sure, for shizzle, man. All right, so we got Jouster. So this is another Tone Junkies. Trying to make sure I'm not clipping audio here, man. Using this toaster app. Not bad. I like that. Let's try a different rig. Let's see what else is up. Okay, there's a Friedman. There's a Nigel. I don't know what the Nigel was. I got a lot of Tone Junkie patches here, and I really enjoy them a lot, actually. This is I think I got this off of the exchange, the Kemper exchange thing where you can get free. There's all, you know, like 10,000 profiles there already for you. All you got to do is just download them and put them on your Kemper. This is a Friedman. Sounds pretty good. I have all 3 Friedman pedals: the Buxom, the Dirty Shirley, and then the Brown Eye pedals. And that sounds like the sound you get out of you know, like my old Fender using the BEOD pedal. That sounds amazing. That sounds great. I love that right there. Like, who doesn't like that? That's, I don't know. I mean, yeah, that sounds great. Messing around last night on the Exchange, and I found some really fat yeah, here we go. Here's Ace Beauty. Here's another Tone Junkie. Yeah, man, that's like an AC30 and then that Sir Bella amp blended. Yeah, this is the dual amp kit from Tone Junkie HW's thing. This is the dual amp kit number 2. Pedal. This is the amp by itself. I was reading the Kemper forums, right, and like one of the posts that's, you know, like pretty popular there is this guy replies to a big thread talking about this thing, actually, the toaster. And he says, "I love my Kemper. The only shortcoming is obviously me." Yeah, absolutely. This is just the most amazing sound in the world. I mean, yeah, you hear that? Like, I just dialed back this single coil. And these are like nothing special pickups, right? This is a Wilkinson bridge with the brass saddles. And then fat telly pickups from Dragonfire guitar pickups, right? But they have the big pole pieces, which really, in my opinion, oh, you hear that? That's the in between position. Yeah, getting that kind of response out of the Helix was impossible. I never once, and I did everything, man. I as you can see right here in my little toaster, I have exactly what I used to do in my Helix, which is I put a little bit of trim. Let's take a look at that. A little bit of the trim. See, at 1 and 1. And I still believe that, right? That even in the Kemper, having that little trim at the very end at 1 and 1 slowly modulates the signal enough to give you, to fool your ears into thinking that you're listening to a real sounding amp, right? And my logic behind that is, if you ever see a frequency response of like a speaker, right? So like if you plug in your speaker and then, or if you're like messing with your DAW and you run it through the frequency analyzer and you strike your guitar, you see that the little peaks and valleys come up, right? You know what I'm talking about? A profile or a IR is a snapshot in time, and essentially is the average. So if it spikes up here and lows down here, they'll take an average and they'll call that your signal, right? But when you have the little modulation and the tremolo going, it adds a little bit of randomness in the signal to give you that sound that, yes, this is organic. The in-between on this sounds epic. And literally, for the first time, I'm hearing that, right? Like, I've always been a single neck and, you know, humbucker bridge player. I can't even begin to compare the Helix to the Kemper, or anything for that matter. So this is probably going to be really loud, so I hope not. Let me just turn this down. Yeah, that's enough. Rev generator amp profile here is amazing. I actually love the way this thing sounds like in a mix. So let's grab a different A minor thing. Seductive blues ballad guitar and A minor elevated jam tracks again. Let's see what's going on here. Well, it's taken a while. maybe I got too much online going on. There we go. That's pretty cool. Let me get back to my toaster. Pretty cool. I like that. That's pretty good. Aeolian is what they're suggesting here for the printout, the loadout. Pretty cool. Toaster it up. that's that little Rev Generator 120 channel 2, like number 1 profile that I got, I think off the Exchange. I'm pretty sure I got that off the Exchange, and it's just, yeah, guitar's way out of tune. I did my own little tweaking to it, etc., and kind of just made it my own. Brought up some of the presence and messed with some of the amp stuff. I always do a lot of bending when I play, and that always knocks my guitars out of tune, man. This guitar is so light. Now, this guitar weighs nothing. Like, my iPad and stand that I'm sitting on over here weighs so much more than this. But, being a parts caster, it's not 100% perfect, Oh, that sounds beautiful, doesn't it? Yeah, this is amazing. I didn't even have this much fun on my Helix, to be honest. I mean, the Helix was cool and all, but like, just like an out-of-the-box tone that doesn't suck, that doesn't require a bunch of inputs. This is a Sir, like the Pete Thorne Sir, right? So let's see how this goes. I think it's kind of amped up, so let's. Yeah, I probably need to turn that down. Let's go to the amp setting here. Meh. Okay, Asonic. So this is another Tone Junkie profile. The Tone Junkie stuff is great. And it's a good price, I mean. The gain pedal's a little. Sounds a little woofy, and I would definitely mess a little bit more with that, but we're not here for that right now. This is my 5150 patch. I think it's also going to be kind of loud. Let's see what happens here. This is off of, I got this one off the Exchange. Yeah, that's off the Exchange, the Kemper Exchange. All right, there's some more Tone Junkie. I'm trying to get to the. There we go. There we go. I want to get to the. That Rolex sounds amazing, by the way. Holy cow! I believe the Tone Junkies, when they made this, that's like a Vibrolex, right? And it's kind of set loud. Oh yeah, I'm totally clipping. Sorry about that. Yeah. I gotta remember to go through all these patches and save them with the gain pedal automatically turned off. It's kind of woofy sounding, Some of the Tone Junkie patches are a little woofy, in my opinion. so there's a diesel. I had a diesel in here. I was... Pretty cool stuff. I just want to get to the JVM I have here. I had saved some JVM stuff, and I really just like, oh my god, I was falling in love with it this morning. Yeah, orange, channel 2 orange, yeah. It's probably set too loud. Yeah. Yeah, I was really just going nuts for this morning. My wife was doing her makeup this morning, making a video right there in the studio. And I was sitting out there on the couch with the wireless guitar plug and the wireless headphones, and you know, messing around with the toaster app with the wireless mouse, and just kind of sitting way away from everything and just really enjoying myself staring out the window. Yeah, this Marshall JVM Channel 2 Orange is a great profile. This will be the last one we look at, and I'm going to call it. I've been going on a little too long here now, and I definitely got to, you know, start cleaning the house, you know, before Monday, right? So, I just want to check out my channel real quick and see what it's looking like with this live thing going on. Yeah, so what do you think? I mean, how many of you out there are rocking the Kemper? And what are your thoughts on this thing? You know, like, how many of you guys like actually went from Helix to Kemper or Kemper to Helix? You know, like what do you say? You know, what say ye about that, right? Like, to me, being a Helix first guy, I went from tube amps to Helix, and for me that was like a big deal. And I'm not trying to say Helix sucks or anything like that. Don't misunderhear me here. What I'm saying is, though, that for my money, I wanted more, and I just wasn't getting that. Yeah, thanks, Gary Z06. Sounds great. Appreciate that comment, man. So, you know, small channel, you know, not very many people give a crap about my stuff, so whatever. Anyways, yeah, so I find this one to be a little bit gainy, though. You know, that's a good thing and a bad thing, you know. I guess they really, when they profiled this, maybe didn't expect you to use a gain pedal up front. But you gotta tighten up that bass somehow, man. It gets kind of... Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's throw down some A minor and let's roll with it, right? Let's see what's going on. All right, so here we got some more jam tracks. I've got my own playlist, and every day that Elevated Jam Tracks comes out of a new track, I just add it to the playlist, and I've got 134, is that what it says? 134 added tracks to the Elevated Jam Track playlist thing that I got going on here. I love them all, man. And like Creative Guitar Studio guy said, you know, like, play in other keys, don't just play in A minor. Yeah, that's right. And with this, I've been able to explore that and you know, get some gains out of that, right? Because, like, you learn more of the scale, you know, just being a novice, you know, to advanced guitar player like myself. The ability to just kind of dig in and play a different scale and just have fun with it, right? It's just so cool. But, you know, because we're staying in a comfort zone for online live status, we're just going to go with A minor. That sounds pretty cool though, whatever that is. Alright, let's go G minor. No, I don't like this one. I've listened to this one so much now that I'm just kind of over this track. Yeah, fine. Let's just go with it. G minor. So I'm like looking at this scale, just trying to see where I'm going to start out. Yeah, kind of a crappy guitarist, honestly. Like I said, I'm still learning the other scales, etc. But right off the bat, I didn't like the way that I didn't like the way this profile was reacting. I still need to tweak it more. I still need to spend some more time with it. Maybe less gain. Yeah, it sounds like a Marshall. It really does. I'm not... Yeah. Totally awesome, man. Like, I mean, just, geez. The whole Kemper thing, it just blows me away. Completely blows me away. I just, being being a younger guy back in the day, you know, when in the '90s when I started playing guitar, right, in the late '80s and early '90s, like I never would have thought that something like this would exist, where you can just, you know. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Yeah, channel 1 orange. Little Wolfie, you know, like. Cool stuff. Totally cool. Yeah. Yeah, totally awesome. So yeah, if you got a Kemper, man, holler back and let me know what kind of your favorite profiles out there. What should I be looking for? I'm totally new to it, and one of the things right off the bat I learned up front was turn off pure cab, turn off space, whatever those two things are. When I turned those off at global, it was like my Kemper didn't suck, because at first, the first couple of days, I was like, wow, what did I do? This doesn't sound good at all. And then once I turned those two things off, it just sounded amazing. And when I run my toaster through my JBL LSR 305s, right? Oh God, it's just the best sound in the world. I mean, I'm so incredibly in love with it. So like I said, if you're an experienced Kemper user, run by me some things that I need to be looking for with terms with like the internal settings of this thing, because I really don't know what exactly I need to be doing at this point. I'm still kind of learning all of this, you know, like. I'm still learning the whole toaster thing, and you know, I'm excited. You know, I'm not at all like, oh, this sucks. You know, I'm totally on board Kemper style, like totally on board. So let me know, man. And then if you're a Helix guy, have you ever messed with a Kemper? Have you ever thought about it? Because let me tell you something. There's something here that the Helix doesn't have, and like you, I'm waiting at 2018 NAMM to see what Kemper and Helix release. I did incidentally see something on Facebook about a Helix effects thing, right? Let's go to that Facebook group. Real quick plug here for Chad Boston's Facebook group. He's running one of the best Facebook groups out there, man. Honestly, this guy does so much. I mean, I don't know how Line 6 honestly thinks about the Chad Boston phenomenon. Let's just call it that. He's a phenomenon. But that guy has literally made the best Helix group out there, right? Like, 11,900 members, right? Like, that's nuts. And that's just Chad, right? That's like, if you spend any time on the Line 6 Helix forums, it is full of these old crabby douchebags. Honest. I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just being honest. Those guys are total assholes. The guys on the Helix forums, fuck them. Honestly, right? But like, you come here to Chad's Facebook group for like Helix usage, right? And this guy is totally cool. And everybody on here is totally cool. For whatever reason, the Line 6 forums are garbage. And stay the hell away from them, because it's full of dumbasses who, within a second of posting something, Pete and some other douchebags are going to like chime in with a nonsensical remark. And that doesn't happen here on Chad's group. And that's what I'm saying, because I get the feeling that those guys, those assholes, are Helix, you know, Line 6 employees, right? And to my knowledge, Chad is not a Line 6 employee, and he has his own thing going on, right? Like, and he's done it better than them. You know, like, what's that like? You know, what is that like? You know, and his thing is friendly. You know, Chad's friendly, very cool and friendly. So, you know, anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to jump on real quick at the very end of this. You know, we're coming to an end here. They posted here on the Helix group here from Chad that this Line 6, and this was supposedly a Guitar Center ad, where it's the Line 6 HX Effects module, and that looks like a module that's probably this big by this big, and then it has the colored buttons, capacitive touch, and then scribble strips. So like 8 total buttons there with like some knobs at the top. And man, that looks cool, dude. That looks so awesome. You know, something like that with the Helix, and then I mean with the Kemper, totally badass. Anyways, so that's been this video. This is like my first real live stream to like actually just kind of bust out and just, you know, balls out, just get on and just do something cool. Wow. You know, I'll do more if you like it. You know, so anyways, like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think. Did you like the jamming? Did you like the way the patches were oriented and how they sat in a mix and all that stuff? I thought it's really cool. So anyways, that's been this video, guys. I'll catch y'all next week. If I have time, I'll do another live stream. Maybe we can make it a Sunday thing. You know, usually my wife works on Sundays, and so I'll just, you know, play guitar, clean the house, that kind of thing on Sunday. Buy groceries, etc. All right, guys, that's been this video. I really enjoy hanging out with you guys. I really enjoyed this. I hope you like it. Give me a comment, give me a like, and talk to me in the comments, dude. Seriously, I'm like so head over heels for this damn Kemper thing, and it's totally new to me and totally awesome to me, and I'm just not bored of it yet. So tell me what you think, guys. All right, guys, that's been this video. Rock on. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.